So it's official. My wife is divorcing me. She said she couldn't be with the Trump supporter. Told me I have it till the end of the day to get my shit out of the house, get all my things. She's changing the lock. She doesn't want me back. She said she's taking the kids away from me. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
So if you're following me on my page, you know that I have been actively talking to my husband about ending our 17-year marriage. But the events of the past week have made me think that maybe that's not a good idea. That this is the wrong time to go out there on my own with my kids and make myself a single mother. There's so much chaos and conflict and unknown out there that I shouldn't make any big moves. Being in my marriage is difficult and hard, and I'm very unhappy, but at least I know it. It's the devil that I know. But then a couple days after the election, I think I was watching a video, where Trump was talking about dismantling the Department of Education. And I have 2 kids who have IEP, so I was emotional and upset about it. My husband had come home and he had asked me, what's wrong? And I told him nothing. I said, I'm fine, I'm just not feeling well. And then he walked off. And the reason why I didn't tell him about what I was really feeling is because I know that my husband is not a person that I would talk to about my emotions and feelings, because it's not safe. It would have turned into an argument about politics, or about how a woman shouldn't be president, or about conservative and libertarian and Joe Rogan and all this other shit. And my feelings would be cast aside, not meaningful or important. And that made me realize that my instinct was correct. I have to get out of here. This isn't a safe place for me, and it hasn't been a safe place for me for years. And even though I've done a pretty miraculous job keeping the marriage together, keeping the family together, in spite of my husband's effort to tear it down with his words, his actions, his indifference, this isn't the right place for me. I can't be the mother that I need to be. I can't be the protector that I need to be for my kids and myself in this environment. I know I can do it. I know I can protect myself. I know I can take care of myself. I've done it all along through this entire marriage. And I've done it while being undermined, while having somebody that's been against me and somebody who's tried to tear me down. That means if I'm free of that in the world, I can thrive. This is so different for me. I don't do this. I don't take risks and I don't take chances. This is going to be the first time in my life, really, that or the first time in many, many years that I'm going to take the biggest risk that I've ever taken. But I'm betting on somebody. I'm betting on someone who's come through for me every time, and that's been me.
Divorces are up, and they are up over politics. Here is just one example. I'm starting divorce procedures with my husband after I found out he voted for Donald Trump. It's not the only reason. We've already had problems like him forcing me to go to church or having me quit my job and become a housewife because he got promoted for a good job. I couldn't find a job where we moved, so I settled in doing housework. I cook, I clean, I'm good at it, but the Trump vote was the last straw, and his lack of remorse. We had a conversation. I told him how hurt I was, how he knew how much I hated Trump, the trauma that man has put me through, but he did not care. I should be grateful because of the job benefits he'll have for his line of work. I'm not going to do this anymore. We have no prenup. I'm going to fight for my rights. We've been married 8 years. I've sacrificed so much. Not anymore. I'm going to take everything I'm owed. The political divide is as big as I've ever seen it, and I've been a divorce lawyer for 20 years, so people have been coming in and talking about their political differences as one of the conflicts that exist in their house for a long time, but it is now at an all-time high. The ideological divide in this country has just gotten wider and wider and wider, and many of us were hopeful that after the election, there would be some relief, but it seems to have only exacerbated the divide. Have you all seen this in your friend group? Are you watching this happen near you as well?
Today's FAFO story is titled, "Am I the asshole for calling off my engagement after my partner revealed he is MAGA?" My fiance and I have been together since 2013 when we met in college. He struggled to get a well-paying job and during his long bouts of unemployment must have been radicalized to blame everyone else. I chalked it up to depression and tried to get him help with therapy. I paid for him to return to school to become a nurse too, but he still has not completed the prereqs after 7 years. He currently works gig jobs while I am a nurse in California making close to $400,000 a year working a full-time and a part-time job. I was hoping to save up enough to not have to work after having a baby since I cannot rely on him. We were planning to get married next year and wanted to try for a baby. He knows I am very liberal and all about women's rights. He never openly expressed support for MAGA itself until after Trump won and said Trump will help the economy and finally allow him to get a good job. I told him that it was the easiest time to get a job in the past 20 years in 2021, yet he couldn't. I am not giving in to sunken costs and staying, and he didn't know, but he did make offhand comments before on women losing their worth the older they get, and I questioned him, and he said it was a joke. The past week has been miserable listening to him talk nonstop on how great Trump is and how he will turn everything great again. I had it and gave him notice to leave by the end of the month, and we are through. He said it's unfair and told me it's stupid to give up on us over just politics. The very fact he said that solidified the notion that he is so clueless and our values are too different. He will likely have to move back into his parents' home or be homeless since he makes less than $35,000 a year in the most expensive region in the USA. Am I the asshole for throwing away my relationship of 11 years over politics? I wish politics were boring again. No, you are not the asshole. And this is not a problem of politics. This is a problem of morality.